Yeah, I must say that I had about 4 pages of questions for you, but I think that that might mean that we're here till 2 in the morning. So I just wanted to start off with thinking about the world and the environment that it is right now. How, since you filmed the film, your definition of desire for your family and how things are operating has changed.
Oh my God, this is a large question. It goes with waves, I think, because when I made the film, I learned a lot about desires and that they don't necessarily needs to be fulfilled, and that, of course, the journey is important, and that it's important that while you're going towards your goal, you really have to enjoy that. And I think the Corona times made that even more, how you say this, livable, or that we had to live it, that it was even more necessary. But now with my film going around to all different countries, and that I can't come with it, and that I can't like fulfill this desire to watch it with the audience, I find it really difficult to really live my own message. I mean, I wish I was in New Zealand right now, or although I think it's maybe better that we don't fly that much anymore, but it's still, I mean, the path.
Indeed, definitely. It's definitely made us all be a bit more aware about travel. Used to be a commodity, and now it really feels like a privilege to be able to pop on a plane and see family around the world. Yeah. And what I really wanted to talk to you about was the voice of Desire in your movie. I found her voice completely compelling, and I just wanted to ask you about how that came into being in the film.
Oh, okay, yeah. First of all, I really wanted to have a voice over, and I started off thinking that the oyster should be the voiceover, and but I never could really make the right voiceover, or I couldn't write it. And then in the edit, my editor asked me, like, okay, so we really need to start editing with the voiceover now. Where's your text? And again, I couldn't come up with the right text. And then she said, but where's the film really about? I mean, is it really about oysters? So you have to give this oyster a voice. And then I said, no, it's really about desires. And the oyster is just a vehicle. And then she said, okay, so go home now, go out of the edit, try to write the voiceover out of desire. And once when I started doing that, it really worked out. And I wrote this voiceover from all the things I like collected with the protagonist, but also in the books and everything. And that's when I wrote it, and we start editing with it.
Lovely. And was that the same with the music? Because the music was equally as compelling, I found.
He's one of my favorite composers. So he worked for a lot of films of mine. This time he worked for the first time with also digital sound. So it's analog with digital. That was really new for him. But he made a lot of the music before we started the edit. So it influenced each other.
Nice. I might just look out to the floor and see whether there are any hands that want to pop up with any questions. Oh, there's one in the middle,
I can't hear it.
Just 2 secs.
Hello, my name is Marcus Palmer, and I have a strong desire to ask you a question. You say when you time to come up with the text and you found it hard to find the text, and where did you then look to find that text about desire? Was it from personal experience, or maybe a philosopher you follow, or something?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but one of the people that influenced me a lot was Mark Epstein. He's like a Buddhist psychoanalyst. I took a lot of his work about that there's a gap between the object of desire and reality. So we always, if you desire something, it's in your imagination. So what you want is somewhere out there, but it's not in reality, it's in your imagination. So there's a gap between what you achieve in the end, because that will never work out the same as in your imagination. And that's why it's so frustrating. Sometimes it's unfulfilling, or it disappoints, or it brings out new desires, because it has not much to do with reality itself. It's really what you think that this object will bring you. So things like, oh, once when I have this film, then I will be happy. Once when I have this guy, then my life is fulfilled. But that's something you make up in your mind, and it has nothing to do with the object of desire itself. And I think that's, of course, a strong Buddhist philosophy as well.
Anybody else with a hand up? Oh, yeah, a lady at the, two, one at the back and one at the front.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Vivian. I'm fascinated in your movie. And how did you find or choose your protagonists?
Yeah, took us 4 or 5 years almost. I started off with, first of all, with people who had to do something with the flat oyster. So they had to have this special relationship with the oyster, and that really to be a big part of their life. But then also they had to have like an existential question related to the oyster. And that's how I looked for my protagonist. If they could, how you say this in English, check all these boxes. And then, of course, we should be able to film them. They should want it and everything. And I also want to have like different continents, and I want to have this different aspects of the oyster. So that was the puzzle, really.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, good. I loved your film. I love the how the oyster has no desire. It just exists, and you can't say it's happy. It's just there. And sort of, it was, as you commented about Buddhism, sort of in Buddhism, you try to free yourself of desire. And it's, I don't know if that's possible for a human. So I loved your movie, and I love that whole, when my friend was telling me about the movie, I thought, oh, oysters, but it was just beautiful, and it made so much sense. The oyster is happy, and we're always striving to be happy. So we should just be happy.
Yeah, but I think without desires, we can't live, because we have no incentive to get up in the morning, or to start a film, or to go to a film, or to watch a film, or so you need them.
Yeah, a drive. Yeah,
The drive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hallo, groetjes. Ik ben Hanneke Boucher.
I know I think I know family of you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's waar. It was a marvelous movie. So thank you very much. We've just thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm here with my husband. I'm very interested to know where the idea for this film came from, because it's some very profound, concepts are woven through it. And were you thinking about this for a while, or where did it actually come from? I'd really like to hear more about that.
Yeah, actually in 2011, I made a film about mussels, and it was called L'amour de mole. And it had a bit of the same starting point, with all people being connected to the mussel that was taking place in Holland and Belgium. And it was about how we try to influence nature to become happy ourselves. But every time when I asked people about mussels, when they were mussel farmers, they would say, oh, really nice, my mussels, but have a look, I also have oysters. And it was like they thought that the oyster was more, meant more, or that the oyster had a higher hierarchy, and I thought that's strange, that an oyster is worth more than a mussel. So there was this glamorous, the mussel was, or the oyster was like the glamorous sister of the mussel. And I thought, what's this, that we give things this connotation, that it's just a thing or an animal or something to eat, but we put this connotation of an aphrodisiac or luxury, or all these things we ourselves project on the oyster. And then I thought, this is not about the oyster, but it's about us human beings projecting desires or things we want on other things. And that's how I came up with the idea to use the oyster as a metaphor for our desires in life. Really nice. I will tell your family that you've been to this show. And I thought all New Zealand people would ask me, why don't you have the New Zealand oysters in your film? Because I really tried. I heard you have the best oysters in the world.
It's true.
I can't
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah, it is true. Maybe you should hop on a plane when we can open the planet again and pop down and taste the oysters.
I would love that.
Any more questions? I had one final one, because I am sometimes about the destination. Did the guy finish writing his book? And where did the lady live?
Okay. So first of all, Nigel, he's still alive. Very happy to say that, but he had a hard time, and he also got corona with it, so he couldn't write all the time, but he's still trying. And he said, oh, maybe when your film premieres in Sweden, then I finish my book. So he's still there. And you mean the Swedish lady where she's living?
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, her boyfriend is thinking of going to live in Sweden, because he knows he can't get her out of there. It's impossible. It's impossible. She never will. And so he's thinking now, half a year he's going to Sweden, and maybe even more.
That's amazing. Thank you. Okay, well, it's been wonderful to speak with you. Enjoy the rest of your Monday morning. Would that be right?
Yes,
and thank you again for sharing your film with us. It was phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the festival and you to having the film here.